Good morning. This is Al Vickery at AL Waters Capital in Braintree, Massachusetts, and it is Friday, April 1st, and this is your morning call today. The Dow finished down by about 30 points yesterday. Some of the other indexes were a bit mixed, but the real story is the fact that U.S. stocks finished uh, respectably overall for the first quarter. The Dow gained more than 6% from January until now, and that's one of its best performances in at least 10 years or more. So the momentum continues to be to the upside, and this morning futures suggest a slightly higher opening again. Um, Now, granted, there's a lot going on out there, and we're not all that sure that the rally is firmly footed. So caution is certainly very important at this point. Um, in Japan, word is that TEPCO, Tokyo Electric Power Company, may basically end up being a nationalized company, at least for the time being, as the government uh, denied rumors and now is more or less going along with the fact that they may end up injecting quite a bit of capital into the company. Meanwhile, you can't help but think you're not getting the whole story. You hear daily reports, radiation levels are through the roof, and then maybe they're not, and we have it in the seawater, we have it in the tap water, but then again we don't. And there's been a lot of bickering, for lack of a better phrase, back and forth between the government and the officials at TEPCO, and we see all sides. We see the mixing of media slants as well, suggesting it's worse than it is or not so bad. In any case, the crisis goes on there. It is first and foremost a humanitarian disaster in terms of the industry. Shares of uranium and some of the plant builders, like Areva in France, suffered quite a bit in those first few days. Uranium is now back at the same level it was, and actually slightly higher, according to some figures, than it was before it started. Deal making in the industry is still moving ahead. Mining companies are on the same track. So, as we said early on, we think there's still a lot of opportunity for upside in that industry. Rare earths as well, still in the news, still a lot going on in terms of the US, Japan, and other industrialized countries finding ways of having better resources available to them in that industry. Oil's also much higher this morning. It's up to about 107, partly because of world events, but also a slightly weaker dollar. So that could be a concern. And the Middle East is another area where you just don't feel like you're getting the whole story. In Libya, the rebels are advancing to the west, and then they're retreating to the east. And you hear about things going on in other parts of that region, and then for days you don't hear anything. In Yemen and in some other places, United Arab Emirates, and so forth. So there's a lot that we still don't know, and that uncertainty plays out into several things, including the oil and gold markets, and makes equities that much riskier, in our opinion, in the coming weeks or perhaps months. So hang tight and happy trading, and we will see you again next week.